performing in concert, Beyonce accidentally ripped out her earring. It got caught stuck in her hair. She started to bleed. She continued to perform because that's what she does. She's amazing. But then her beehive, or at least some members of the beehive, they started this movement. We don't know how true it is. We'll get to all that. But here are some tweets, for example. The hashtag's called Cut for Beyonce. So for example, we have hashtag Cut for Beyonce. If Beyonce bleeds, we bleed. Cut for Beyonce. If Queen Bee had to endure pain, so do I. Tonight we hashtag Cut for Beyonce. And then there were also plenty of people that spoke out against the movement, calling it stupid, calling it outrageous. Here's another one, a tweet calling out the movement from Kyrie Harris saying, quote, okay, this hashtag Cut for Beyonce is not funny. People out here cutting for serious shit and y'all making jokes. Thoughts, 5 words or less.
Cut it out.
I hope it's irreplaceable.
Yes. Show must go on.
Beehive, that's got a sting. Ouch.
Yeah.
Cutting yourself, bitch.
Yeah, don't do this.
What part of it stings for you?
Cutting yourself stings.
Oh, I wasn't sure if you were talking about the actual act
All
of the
of
earring.
it.
The whole thing
Woo!
stings.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you look at her outfit, and she's got like these hook earrings and this flying braid, and it's like no one thought about this ahead of time.
It looks great. It looked really good. And for the first couple minutes of watching the video, I wasn't sure. I thought maybe I was missing something. It's like, well, she doesn't look like she's bleeding. And then when you see it, you really can't unsee it, that it is quite bloody. But I agree with you, Brett. It seems like a beautiful outfit, but a hazardous outfit.
Yep.
She's had so many shows to this point and hadn't had any problems. So
It's
I don't
true.
think it was one of those like, oh, we have to be careful from the earrings. Like, ladies, do you think about it when you're wearing like your dresses and your ensembles before you go perform?
Shockingly,
I don't
no.
perform, unfortunately.
But that's the thing, is like, when I see giant hoop earrings, I'm like, oh my God, how does something not get caught? Like sometimes when I'm walking by the door, like my pocket will get caught in the handle.
It sucks.
You ever get that?
It sucks so much.
So now I just don't understand how, like, you have these giant squares. How are you not terrified?
Squares. I love these squares. I'll tell you about these squares. Every time I
See,
go
that
in,
freaks me out.
I'll tell you about these squares. These
Oh.
squares are so delicate. Every time I go in to kiss someone on the cheek when I say hello or goodbye, it squishes the square. And
Whoa.
it pisses me off. I'm like, fuck his cheek or her cheek squished the square.
Hashtag squish the square.
Hashtag squish the square. I don't know when the last time I took these out. These have been in for a while. So that's, I wonder if I even can take them out now. But okay, what I think that we should be talking
Is
about.
Cut for Beyonce.
Well, Cut for Beyonce,
So-
but also, this isn't, have you seen the video of Beyonce when her hair got stuck in the blowing the wind
No.
machine?
Woo, no.
And so her hair got caught, and she
Ow.
continued, I hope our editors can find this clip, and she continued to sing her ass off. I believe it was during the song Halo, but don't quote me.
Probably.
And her hair is caught in the thing, and she's still singing. And then, she sort of flags down the security or whatever, the stage managers, and they help her release her hair. She keeps singing, and the audience goes, "What?"
She's
And this
unbelievable.
was, this was a couple years back, but we've seen her, she's just the consummate performer. She's just the best performer
Yeah.
that is doing it these days.
Plus, I mean, you're on stage, your adrenaline's pumping, like everything's going on, you're getting the energy from the crowd. I guarantee you, if you ever notice, if you're in the middle of something, playing a sport or doing whatever, a lot of times, unless it's something like super drastic that just stops your movement, you don't realize how hurt or how injured you are.
You keep going.
Like,
you
I was
keep
playing
going.
football, broke my wrist, didn't realize both wrists were broken until I actually looked at it. When I looked at it, that's
What'd it
when my
look
brain
like?
was
What'd
like,
it look like?
my hand was over here.
Oh!
But nothing, like, it wasn't compound. The skin didn't break at all, so they just put it back in and connected it back together, which is
They
why
can't
these
e-
bones are gone. But
Like, I know your wrist is together now,
like,
but I
don't have
can't
that.
even
don't
look
have
at you
that.
pointing
You know
at
how,
it.
You know, I have that, like, not like there.
And it has to do with the adrenaline. You're right about that one.
Yeah,
It has
like,
to
you
do
don't
with the
feel it.
adrenaline. And you think about all the preparation it goes into a performance, or when you're playing a sport.
Right.
I remember one time when I was doing backstroke, my fingernail got caught in
How'd you
the
do that backstroke?
Like
my
that.
fingernail. Actually,
Good.
backstroke's
You
like
can
this,
tell you got that
like
for
this,
it.
When I was
and
a
then you go in
professional
and you go like this.
swimmer.
But I remember my fingernail getting caught in the lane line and it ripped it off. And I remember it hurting, but you're so
keep going.
focused on
You keep
winning.
going.
You're so focused on and your adrenaline is so high.
Yeah.
And as soon as you hit that wall, then you're like, fuck. But you don't
now,
realize.
One time I was cutting carrots, and I kind of cut my finger, and I lost it.
Well, yeah, because your adrenaline's not pumping, bitch.
That's like,
Maybe
I
if you'd
think,
been on Top Chef and
I
you
think,
cut your finger.
I think that's the most athletic thing I've ever
Or
done.
when you put the paper back in the copier.
Yeah, I'm like, ah.
Okay, so
But
here's.
so how? Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you go.
Because I'm just this whole cutting. So I don't want to say it's a cultural thing, but I didn't really hear about anyone cutting themselves until I got a lot older and had more non-minority friends.
So you're saying it's a white thing?
I'm not saying it's a white
Remember
thing
Cut for
because
Bieber?
as of
Did you?
yes,
Were you?
Trust me, I've met little girls who like I can see the marks on them and things like that. Like,
Wow. Yeah,
so that
because
was
Kenny used to tour with Justin Bieber, so
Yeah.
you're aware of it more than anyone else.
Yeah, and there was a lot of like we used to get a lot of stories about different people, and people would always write us and about trying to meet them and things like that. But that opened my eyes to a whole nother world because I was not aware of it at all. Like growing up in Atlanta, I mean, I went to a predominantly black high school. I grew up in a predominantly black area. Like everything was around it, but I did go to prep school outside of Boston, so it's like I started seeing a lot of other things. But as I got older, then I realized like, oh, this is something serious. So when I saw the Beyonce thing, and I'm like, how does that even correlate?
Yeah.
To cut, because she didn't cut herself. It ripped.
It was an
so are we just
accident.
gonna rip? Like, let's just go around ripping our shirts.
Do you
like,
think that
rip something? Can we
Beyonce-
change that up? Like,
Do you think Beyonce has a responsibility to speak out against this sort
She
of
did,
thing?
I think. Remember, she said something. I think she said some in the article. It mentioned her saying, I don't know if it was a previous time or if it was just in the last couple days. She said, "Do not hurt yourself."
Yeah. Which
and
should go
to
without
celebrate
saying.
me.
Right, right. But it's just sort of interesting talking about. I remember when "Cut for Bieber" was trending as well, and I don't remember why that started trending. But it's happened to other celebrities where fans have just gotten some. I don't know. I don't really know
So-
how it happens, but
Do we
I
know
do.
how many people are
4chan,
doing it though?
like it's a lot of times it's like a trolling
Thank you.
maneuver to get people to go see if people will follow this random
someone
thing
will
that they
start
started.
the
So they'll say
hashtag.
"Cut for Bieber" for no real
And it could start
good
from
reason.
trolls.
And if and it's possible, most people will see that and say that's ridiculous. Why would I do something like that? Especially with the "Cut for Beyonce" thing, where some of the photos are literally like someone has gone and searched for severed ear and uploaded the photo of a severed ear in someone's hand. Like clearly not someone who did this for Beyonce.
Right.
They'll put it on and most people say that's ridiculous. I'm not going to do that. But the sad thing is there might be people out there who see it and say, oh, this is what we're doing. I need to do this.
Well, that's someone that's not in a healthy state of mind.
Right. And so what I'd like to say to our fans is don't do that. Any cut for anyone, don't do it.
Yeah. And if you
need to
think
go-
that you want to do it, I think that should be a sign that you should talk to somebody, honestly.
yeah.
So, all right, please share your thoughts in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you next time on Pop.